No one's going to tell you this, but your beauty didn't go away. It just became more powerful. And if you haven't realized that yet, pay close attention now. Have you ever looked in the mirror and thought, where is the woman I used to be? Time doesn't erase. It reveals. Today I'm going to show you 6 signs of a rare kind of beauty. The kind that only shows up after 40, 50, 60. And I bet you carry every one of them, but you just don't see it yet. If any part of this touches your heart, leave a comment. I see myself. And if you want to keep rediscovering yourself, hit subscribe. Because here maturity is the new youth. Maybe no one's ever told you this before, but there's a kind of beauty that only begins after 60. It's not the kind that grabs attention in a photo. It's the kind that quiets a room when you walk in, and you don't even notice. You no longer need to be the youngest, the most put together, the one who pleases everyone, because now you're the one who knows, the one who senses before others speak, the one who calms chaos with a warm cup of tea and soothes a room with just one short phrase. This too shall pass. And you know what's most beautiful? This beauty doesn't ask permission to exist. It's simply there, in your presence, in the way you listen, in the way you keep going, even when you're tired. It's a beauty that people don't notice at first, but never forget afterward. And maybe the world never celebrated you for it. But here, in this video, I do. You, with your quiet strength, with your soft soul, with your bloom that no longer rushes to open. And if you doubt it, that's okay. I understand. But stay with me, because the next few minutes aren't about appearances. They're about truth, and the first sign already lives inside you. You just need to open your inner eyes. Sign 1, the gaze that tells stories. Maybe no one's ever told you this, but your eyes have grown more beautiful with time. Yes, more beautiful. Not because of their color or their sparkle, but because now they know how to see. They don't look in a rush. They see what matters. They understand even before hearing a word. Your eyes have seen a lot. They've witnessed goodbyes. They've waited for answers. And they've smiled even when your heart was tired. And all of that is still there. Kept, silent, but alive. That's why, when you look at someone with calm, they feel something different. They feel seen. And more than that, they feel understood. Donna Lucia, a 70-year-old woman, told me the other day, "Nowadays I look more slowly, because I've seen too many things pass by too fast." And that's when I understood. Your gaze didn't lose its sparkle. It gained depth. It's the gaze of someone who no longer needs to judge. Someone who no longer needs to prove anything. Someone who already knows that every person carries a world we can't see. And that kind of gaze is rare. It's beautiful. It's sacred. You might not even realize it. But there are people who seek you out just to receive that gaze, that silence full of wisdom, that way of seeing with tenderness. Have you noticed? It's different from when you were 20. Back then, your eyes were looking for answers. Now, they offer comfort. No wonder you radiate peace without saying a word. The world is full of noise, but you've learned to speak with your eyes. And that, my dear, is beauty, the deepest kind. So, the next time you look in the mirror, don't search for who you were. Look with more respect at who you've become, because that gaze you have now is the reflection of everything you felt, overcome, lived through. And that has no price, no age, no substitute. Only you have that gaze. Sign 2, the warmth that calms a room. There are women who don't make noise, but the whole room changes when they enter. They don't push their opinions. They don't compete for space. They simply touch the air with gentleness. Maybe you are one of those women, and maybe no one has ever acknowledged that. But the way you sit next to someone, how you place your hands on the table, how you look in silence while the other speaks, that transforms. It's like a fireplace that warms without drawing attention. It's just there, steady, strong. warming whoever comes close. Over time, you've learned to be that fireplace, without effort, without trying to control. You embrace, you soften. When everyone else is loud, you breathe slowly. When someone is lost in their pain, you are there, not saying much, but fully present. Your warmth is this, a force that doesn't try to fix everything, but holds everything together. Donna Marina, 68, once told me, "Now I understand I don't need to have answers for everything. I just need to be near, truthfully." And that's exactly what you do. You are fully present, in slow gestures, in attentive listening, in the way you prepare a meal without fanfare. Some people think it's too simple, but it's not. It's deep. It's healing. It's what the world is missing, because everyone wants to be heard, but few know how to listen. Everyone wants to be loved, but not everyone knows how to offer presence. You know, and even if no one says it, people feel it. They're drawn to you. They linger, because your warmth doesn't burn. It protects. You're the kind of woman who, even in silence, keeps someone company. Even on hard days, you offer peace. Even in absence, you are remembered with affection. That is a rare form of beauty. It doesn't need explanation, only recognition. And today, I want to recognize you for that. Sign 3, the humor that brings lightness. There are moments in life when laughter is more than joy. It's emotional intelligence. It's graceful survival. You've learned that over time. You've learned that laughing isn't escaping. It's embracing life as it is, without makeup. And more, you've learned to laugh, even when no one's watching, even when there's nothing funny at all. This kind of humor isn't on the lips. It lives in the soul. It's the laughter that comes when you burn the rice. But remember, you've cooked 1,000 meals and nourished the world with your hands. It's that quiet smile when you forget where you left your glasses and then realize they were on your head the whole time. It's laughing at your own forgetfulness, not out of mockery, but because you finally allow yourself to be light. That, my dear, is wisdom, the highest kind, because the woman who can laugh at the unexpected is the same woman who once cried too much, trying to control everything, and finally understood that life is imperfect, but still, so worth it. Your humor is generous. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't push. It arrives gently, in its own time, and it heals. There's a special charm in someone who can laugh at herself without putting herself down, in someone who tells stories with grace, in someone who turns hard memories into moments that make others smile around the table. It's the kind of laughter that brings people together, that breaks tension, that draws hearts closer. Donna Celia, at 72, once told me, "I was never one to tell jokes, but I've always lightened the weight of things. And that's the gift you have. You're not funny. You are light. And that lightness is rare. In a world full of forced seriousness, you offer a breath of fresh air. You offer humanity. You offer space for others to also relax and be themselves. Your laughter doesn't need to be loud. It just needs to be real. And when it shows up, it shines, because it comes from within. And what comes from within touches more deeply. Sign 4, the style that's uniquely yours. You don't dress to impress anymore, not to follow trends. You dress to recognize yourself, and that is rare. It is strong. It is beautiful. Your style today doesn't need permission. It doesn't ask if it's trending. It answers to what you feel inside. The choice of earrings, the way you roll up your sleeves, the scarf you tie in your hair on an ordinary day. None of it is random. All of it speaks. And it speaks a language only those who've truly lived can understand. Because style, at this stage in life, is more than appearance. It's a quiet summary of the woman you've become. That one piece you've worn for years. Because it makes you feel good. Because it holds meaning. Because it belongs to you. Is more valuable than any new outfit. Your wardrobe isn't just made of fabric. It's made of memories. The blouse you wore to your grandson's birthday. The sandals that walked beside you on your most peaceful vacation. The necklace you were gifted by someone who's no longer here. All of it is still with you, on your body and in your soul. Donna Rita 76 once told me, "Nowadays I choose comfort, but I also choose truth. I dress to remember who I am. And it couldn't be more beautiful. You no longer need to adjust yourself. Now you shape the world around you. And even when you choose something simple, you carry elegance. Because true elegance doesn't live in what's expensive. It lives in what's honest. There's beauty in the coat that already knows your body, in the way you hold your purse, in the confidence of not needing to exaggerate, to be noticed. Your style is made of gestures, of small choices, of presence, and it doesn't need to please anyone, because someone with true style doesn't follow trends. She signs her own identity, with color, with texture, with soul. Oh, you don't dress to look younger. You dress to be who you are, right now, with freedom, with truth, with dignity. And that, my dear, is the most beautiful thing there is. Sign 5. The peace of someone who no longer needs to fight. There's a quiet beauty in someone who no longer fights the world, in someone who doesn't live in urgency, in someone who has learned that not every battle deserves her energy. You carry that peace, even if you don't realize it. It lives in your rhythm, in the time you take before answering, in the pause before saying yes or no, in the way you listen, without interrupting, without rushing. That peace didn't come overnight. It came slowly, after many storms. It was born when you understood that you don't need to convince anyone, that your truth doesn't have to shout, that love, when it's real, doesn't need effort to stay. Donna Eunice, 75, once told me, "Now I know what throws me off balance, so I choose not to go that way." And that choice is power. It's beauty from within. It's presence that inspires. It's maturity that embraces without getting lost in the chaos. Maybe you used to be more anxious, more reactive, more impulsive, but today, you choose silence, you observe, you step back when needed, and above all, you let things go, because you've learned that not everything needs an answer. Not every wound needs reopening. Not every noise deserves attention. This peace you carry today isn't indifference. It's wisdom. It's emotional efficiency. It's elegance of the soul. You don't jump into every conversation. You don't lose sleep over every opinion. You don't waste energy trying to please those who don't see your worth. And that, my dear, is rare. It's sacred. It's strong. There's a special presence in someone who no longer fights to be seen. You simply are, whole, complete, at peace. And people around you feel it. They feel they can breathe around you. They feel they won't be judged. They feel they don't need to defend themselves, because you're not a threat. You're a haven. That serenity is your most beautiful dress. It matches everything. Your voice, your pace, your story. And maybe that's why, even in silence, you stand out. Not by being loud, but by having learned to listen to yourself. Sign 6. The light that comes from within. There are women who don't shine to be noticed. They shine because they carry too many stories in their hearts. And still, remain generous. Maybe you are one of those women, and maybe no one has ever told you that. Your light isn't in a rehearsed gesture or in a perfect appearance. It lives in places most people don't even notice, in how calmly you rise from a chair, in the tenderness you speak of your loved ones with, in the silence you offer when someone collapses beside you. That light doesn't flicker. It doesn't fade with time, because it doesn't come from youth. It comes from the soul, and a soul that has been through so much and still chooses kindness, illuminates the world around it. You might not hear compliments every day, but there are people who only feel safe because you're nearby. You might think you're just one of many, but there are stories that only continued because you existed. This is the light you carry, made of steadfastness and sweetness, made of falls and comebacks, made of losses and choices. Dona Irene at 80 said, "After all I've lived, if I can still smile, it's because something inside me never went out. And I thought of you. Your light doesn't shout. It guides. It warms. It arrives quietly, but changes everything around it. Even on days when you feel tired. Even on mornings when you can't find the will. Even when you think no one's paying attention. Someone is. Someone is watching you in silence. And they draw inspiration from the way you meet life with gentleness. The way you speak up for those without a voice. The way you refuse to stop being kind, even when the world feels too harsh. That light, my dear, is uniquely yours, and it doesn't need filters or applause. It is already whole. And perhaps for everything you've overcome, for everything you've carried alone, that light you shine today is your greatest sign of beauty. You've gone through so many phases, played so many roles, met so many demands, but now, maybe for the first time, you can simply be unhurried, guilt-free, free from needing to prove yourself, because your beauty already lives in everything you hold quietly, in the gestures no one saw, in the sacrifices no one applauded, in the light you never let go out, even on cloudy days. If you've reached this point, it's because you recognize something of yourself in these words. And that is a reunion. May these signs always remind you, you're not losing anything. You're revealing everything. And from now on, may you look at yourself with more tenderness, with more pride, with more presence, because maturity isn't the end of beauty. It is its most sincere peak, freer, more you. And if doubt returns one day, as it sometimes does, come back here. This space was created to remind you of the woman you are, and always have been.